Hi, I'm Megan Kuhn. Today we are going to talk about preparing financially to purchase your next home. A couple of things that you should do to prepare financially so that you're in a good position when you're ready to purchase your next home are, number one, you should definitely live within a budget. No matter how much money you're making, a budget is always helpful to make sure that you're living within your means and that you have enough money left over to put into savings. Savings is going to help you to have a buffer because when you get into a new home, whether it's your first home or your last home, you want to make sure that you have a good buffer so that if anything unexpected came up, you can cover that mortgage payment, as well as putting down payment towards your first or next home. Technology nowadays makes budgeting so easy. There's tons of apps that you can download that will connect to your accounts and that you can easily swipe things left and right to determine which category they go into, and so that you can make sure you're not overspending on certain things like eating out, entertainment, things like that, but that you're living within your means. One great tip I have about budgeting too that's helped us budget is to make sure that you have money set aside for those fun things that you like to do. Don't totally eliminate those things out of your budget, but also make sure that you aren't overspending on things that aren't as important to you as maybe saving for a home. Another thing that you should really consider about preparing financially is keep your credit score up. This one might seem obvious if you understand credit scores, but you would be amazed how many people come to me and the loan officers and they don't understand credit scores and how important they are. Your credit score determines what type of loan program you get approved for, as well as how much you have to put down and the interest rate that you get. So the better your credit score, the better terms you're going to have on your loan and the less restrictions you're going to have when it comes to getting qualified. So we want to make sure that you keep your credit score up. Ways to do this are make sure that none of your payments are late on any loans or debts that you have. Also make sure that you have some credit open. It's great to pay cash for everything, but also as you have small credit cards or auto loans and you're paying those on time every single month, it builds your credit up and creates a positive impact on your credit. So while it's great to have nothing in debt, it's also great to have those debts in order to build that credit. I know we already touched on this, but saving is so important. You should definitely know what your monthly expenses are, and you should have a couple of months of savings to cover those expenses so that if something were to happen, you would have those expenses covered for a few months until you could get back on your feet. Also, saving for your next home or your first home is going to be really important because you're going to have a down payment and closing costs to cover. These can range anywhere from about 1% of the purchase price in closing costs and anywhere from 0 up to 10% as down payment in your loan. So we want to make sure that you have a good buffer saved so that you have money saved even after closing. We don't want to totally deplete your accounts, but so that you have enough money saved to keep in that buffer, but also enough to put down and cover your closing costs and down payment. As you're applying for a loan officer is going to be able to help you cover all of these things and make sure that you have enough and all of your questions answered. It's never too early to talk to a loan officer if you're considering moving, buying your first home or your next home, because the loan officer will be able to look at what you have and give you advice on how to move forward and prepare to purchase your next home. They're not going to push you to go ahead and purchase right now, but they can look at everything and help you make sure that you're on the right track so that when you're ready, we can just jump right in. A few things that a loan officer is going to look at when it's time to get qualified for your home are your tax returns, your monthly income collectively. Now, part-time income is tricky, and so we can't always count it. And of course, commission is always the most tricky. If you're commission based, you should definitely talk to a loan officer sooner rather than later. We have to have a 2-year average with commission. And so we want to make sure that we can use your commission income, whether it's partial to your income or whether it's your whole income. We have to make sure that you qualify and the timeline that you want to qualify for based on that income. Another thing that they're going to look at are your debts. Your debts are important because we have to have a good debt to income ratio, meaning you can't have too many debts based off of your income. They're going to compare the two and make sure that you're going to have money left over after you've paid all of your debts, including credit card payments, loans on auto loans, and any other debts that you might have or loans taken out. They're also going to look at your credit score like we talked about before. So this is really important to determine where you rank and what types of loan programs you're going to get approved for. And then the last thing they're going to look at are your accounts. They're going to see how much you have in savings, how much you have equity in your home. So if we're going to be using the equity from your current home to put down, that will help you get qualified for a little bit more. And so those are things that the loan officer is going to ask for as you call them to get qualified for a mortgage. And again, like I said, it's never too early to start that process to really get an understanding of where you're at and how you can improve so that you're ready to jump in when the time is right for you. I'm Megan Kuhn with Powerhouse Real Estate. If you have any other questions, give me a call.